Hello, everyone. I would love to introduce Deb, our founder and CEO of Criya. Could you give us a little bit of background on you and why Criya?
Yeah, hey, nice to meet Emily on an actual live with me. This is so fun. I'm Deb Dutta. You can call me Deb. I'm the founder and CEO of Criya. Our mission at Criya is really to empower millions of creators turn their passion into a business. And so my background is really a little bit more in tech plus influencer. I'll talk a little bit more about it. But I'm Indian born. I'm a first generation South Asian immigrant. Have a master's in computer science from Carnegie Mellon, 12 years of experience leading engineering and product management at companies like PayPal, Cisco, Microsoft, and so on. But I'm also a fashion and interior design influencer, have upwards of 150,000 followers, been sponsored by over 250 brands, and you can find me on Instagram at Design Play, where I talk about all things creative and just lifestyle. But really, having firsthand experience dealing and working with so many other creatives, I've seen firsthand how women struggle in creative fields to, launch and grow their own independent businesses. And when you think about the pandemic, I think there's numbers that go as far as saying more than 1 million women have left the workforce due to lack of job satisfaction, inflexible work schedules, lack of autonomy to control their own careers. 1 in 3 women have considered leaving the workforce just because of burnout, having childcare responsibilities, whatnot, right? And my vision has always been to build technology with the purpose of empowering women to embrace careers of their choice and really participate in the global economy. So at Criya, we are reimagining how nearly 70 million solopreneurs, largely women, monetize their talent by enabling them to run professional businesses by providing them technology, educational resources, and a supportive community so they can start carving their own journey to financial independence.
Awesome. That is so amazing. So, how did Criya get started? Like, what type of space did you start in? Has it always been called Criya? How long ago did this all begin?
So this really started from a personal need. Before Kriya, it was actually called Room Place. Room Place was basically a version of Kriya where I was essentially an interior design influencer and I wanted to help fellow, homeowners with an attractive, and functional space. And I felt like my experience, being a budget-friendly, DIY-friendly creative, I could help them. And Roomplace was a way for me to launch my own services and start offering them to my own clients. And within, I think, 100 days, we had over 100 users, actually interior designers on the platform offering their services. And that was really the birth of this actually much larger journey, which today is Kriya.
Awesome. Very cool. So, you kind of started with interior designers and you're like, there's more here to that. That's so cool. So, where is Criya now? Like, who do you serve?
So really, Kriya, like I said, you can think of Kriya as like a one-stop shop that sets up service providers, whether you're an interior designer, makeup artist, online coach, fitness coach, doula, henna artist. If you're a woman offering services to your audience, we set you up with a mobile-ready storefront, pre-made templates to offer your services, and behind the scenes, we take care of everything else like payments, appointment scheduling, contracts, client communication, literally everything gets automated. And for you, the best part is we've made it so easy for you to set up and get running. It takes under 5 minutes to get going. So that way, as a creative, like you can focus largely on your craft and actually servicing your clients. And Kriya will take away all of that guesswork and the overwhelming amount of manual tasks to actually run the business.
Very cool. So, kind of talked about like how that works in the world and in the community that you've built, but how does that work as the business itself? What was it like kind of building out the team?
Oh gosh, really what it was like a dream, right? I grew up in India. I came here with that sparkle, there's going to be something much bigger than, me working at a company. It was going to be something that I'm genuinely working toward solving, problems at a mass scale. And being a creator, like I said, in my own, just my personal journey so far has been, it's a struggle. women, there aren't enough role models, there aren't enough people to look up to, there's not enough of a network or access where you think that, I may have a day job, but I have this passion and I want to go pursue this. There isn't an organic network that you can tap into to go start that. So, and the same thing when it comes to actually building a company and building a tech startup, for example. So my first thing, I mean, really, given my background as an immigrant, there's limited resources, there's limited influence and so on. So I decided to do what I can do best, which is, I have the courage, I have resilience, I have experience, and I'm just going to double down on that. So the first thing that I did was actually started coding the first version of the product. And then once I actually started putting that product out there, that's where I started to get access to like people who are like-minded. So for you, for example, Emily, I mean, it was fantastic when you and I actually connected, because not only were we talking about the company itself, but your own journey with, like women investing and how you are empowering your network, or you sort of spreading your influence in your own ways to empower women, with financial freedom. I mean, that's how I've actually built my team, to be quite honest. Like, it's actually been a function of not just people who want to work at a startup or work in the space. It's actual like-minded founders, creators who have a similar passion and want to come together to actually build this company. So, I mean, our core team is really a bunch of folks like us who are creators ourselves. We are founders in our own stride, and we're all working toward a common mission.
Awesome. Love that. And in terms of getting funding, we're getting lots of questions coming in. How did you do it? Where do you start? Who are you backed by? All the things. Obviously, more details to come in the future, but any words to say on getting funded?
Yeah. So, I mean, I agree. I think this is one of those things where it's almost a black box until you actually go past that first, the first funding and getting the first check. And I think, so in my case, for example, we were fortunate. So I'll say we were fortunate to get, meet the right investors. Because I think investors, you should think about investors as almost your team members. They need to be believers. It's hard to get naysayers to back you and actually support you. So for me, the first step was just really appreciating and tapping into the network that I already had. I didn't know, honestly, who is and who isn't an investor, who is and isn't a believer. But once you actually put yourself out there, it's insane what you can learn and who can connect you to what. But really, in a nutshell, my first check was from one of our biggest believers, our board member and my personal mentor, K-Wall, who essentially was the initial, backers of Canva and whatnot. And then from there, that opened the doors to actually more opportunities. And I got accepted into Y Combinator. And Y Combinator is, if you guys know about it, I mean, it's the world's most prestigious and competitive startup accelerator, home to, most unicorns like Airbnb, Stripe, DoorDash, and so on. And from there, I went on to raise venture funding from more top tier venture capital, such as Felicis and so on. So now, in a nutshell, I mean, it's been a journey. And also knowing that, in general, like startup fundraising, venture capital, less than, I think, 3%, I think 2.9% of venture capital, the billions of venture capital ever goes to female founded startups. And we feel fortunate and lucky to be among that sub 3%, to have truthfully met the right people who really believe in us and believe in our vision and to be supporting us. So I've gotten to your point, Emily, there's just been so many people who reached out, and I've been coaching. I've coached close to 100 founders now on how to approach fundraising. It's an art. It's not a math. Like it's an art. So I've actually, we have a masterclass on this. So you can actually learn about how you can go fundraising for your early stage startup.
Awesome. Well, any last words, any advice for somebody looking to take that leap, start their own business, turn their side hustle into something bigger?
Quite honestly, I mean, there's just so many, last words, but I think the biggest thing I would say is your next idea might be the next big thing that changes your life. You don't know it until you actually jump in with both feet. Like your next hello might be the boss who listens to you and enables that dream career. Your next happy hour might be in the presence of a VC who believes in your vision and, enables you to change the world. So I think my takeaway, honestly, was one, really, you have to commit and jump in with both feet. And I would think part of that is in every aspect. It's not just in terms of building a company, it's also in terms of how you pursue relationships. Like building relationships with intention will take you a long way. So, like I said, I guess I'm talking about a happy hour or like your boss. You never know where your push and where your support system is going to come from. So I would take both pursuing and building intentional relationships would be my takeaway.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And thank you everyone who watched and listened today. Follow Criya, follow Deb, and stay tuned. We've got lots coming.
Thank you so much for hosting, Emily.
Bye-bye.